Primary 6, Lesson 4, Adjectives about people. All teaching videos and files are to be used only by students of our school. To avoid possible copyright infringement, these materials must not be forwarded to third parties. Thank you for your attention. To prepare for lessons, please adjust to the suitable volume, prepare stationery and worksheets. You can also pause the video when necessary and resume the video after finish the assigned exercises. 同學仔啊，我哋今日嚟講下一啲用嚟形容人嘅形容詞。形容詞係用嚟修飾名詞嘅。形容詞可以擺喺名詞之前，用於描述名詞嘅性質或者特徵。此外，亦都可以擺喺係動詞 link verbs 之後，用作主語嘅補語。咁有咩係有常見嘅係動詞呢？包括有 be 啦、look 啦、seem、sound、feel、appear、get、become 等等，呢啲都係好常見嘅係動詞。譬如 he feels sad， 個 sad 就係個 adjective， 個 feels 就係個係動詞啦。我哋呢課中會集中討論描述人物嘅形容詞啦，包括譬如佢哋嘅外表或者體質。譬如 chubby 係解有少少肥 ，muscular 解作好多肌肉，或者形容佢哋嘅智力或者能力啦。譬如 talented 佢好有才華嘅 ，effective 佢做嘢好有效率嘅，或者佢哋嘅感受同情緒，譬如 surprised 我好驚訝啦 ，angry 我憤怒。性格或者特徵，譬如 easygoing 佢好容易相處嘅，同埋 chatty 好多嘢講嘅。Let's do exercise A. Match the adjectives with their opposites. We'll check the answers after some time. Let's check the answers. Number 1, nervous. When you describe someone who is nervous, it means that he is worried or anxious. Its opposite is calm. Number 2, impolite. The opposite of impolite can be polite or courteous. It means that someone who is polite and shows respect to others. Number 3, dependable. If someone is dependable, that means you have confidence in him and trust him. For example, if a worker does things fast and accurately, the boss will have confidence in him, so the worker is dependable. The opposite of it is unreliable. Bold means someone who is brave. Its opposite is timid. That means he or she is easily frightened and doesn't have much confidence. Incompetent means someone who lacks the ability to do something. So, for example, an incompetent teacher, that means she's not a good teacher. Its opposite is capable. Generous. Its opposite is stingy. That means someone who is not willing to spend money. Lazy is opposite to hardworking, and optimistic means someone who have hope and belief that good things will happen. The opposite is pessimistic. That means someone who believes bad things will always happen. Let's move on to exercise B. Circle the word that has similar meaning as the underlined word. We'll check the answers after some time. Let's go through the answers. Number 1, the cake is delicious. The word that has a similar meaning to it is toothsome. That means attractive and has good taste. Sweet doesn't necessarily imply that the food is delicious. For example, if someone isn't a fan of sweetness, he may not find a food delicious. While awful is the opposite of delicious, it means something bad and unpleasant. Number 2, she looks very slim in those trousers. Its synonym is slender. chubby means someone who is slightly fat in an attractive way. So if you describe someone who is chubby, you're praising him that he is slightly fat but in an attractive manner. While attractive doesn't imply any thinness. Number 3, she was disappointed when they told her that her application was rejected. Disappointed, that means dejected. They both mean upset, while annoyed and resentful both implies that someone is angry. Number 4, she is rather chatty at home, but out in company she is quite quiet. Chatty is a positive word that means someone who speaks a lot, but is used to praise someone, while talkative can carry either a neutral or positive meaning. Noisy, on the other hand, definitely is a negative word, so noisy is inappropriate in this context. While reclusive is the opposite of chatty, it means someone who rarely talks to people. So the answer is talkative. Number 5, Jenny is overjoyed to see her cousin. Jenny is elated to see her cousin. It's not surprising that she is the first in class. She's not only competent but also industrious. Industrious means hardworking. While sluggish and idle are similar in meaning. Idle means someone who is lazy and not willing to work, while sluggish means someone who has little energy. She is an affectionate mother. Its synonym is loving. That means someone who shows feelings of love. While friendly is also a positive word, it is not appropriate in this context because it only means that someone is kind. But it doesn't necessarily mean that she has feelings of love. Aloof means that someone is rather cold and unfriendly. Number 8, I just had a candid talk about my career preference with my parents. Candid means honest. Let's move on to exercise C. Fill in the blanks with the given adjectives. We'll check the answers after some time. Let's check the answers. Number 1, he was attracted by the dancer's movements. We often use graceful to describe a dancer. Or you can say he was attracted by the dancer's elegant movements. They mean the same. Number 2, the show was cancelled. We felt disappointed. Number 3, after years of practice, he became very at crafting. He became very skillful at crafting. Number 4, Mary's mother was very ill, so she often took time off work. Thankfully, her boss was very understanding. That means her boss understands her problem and doesn't blame her. Number 5, David always come up with interesting games for us to play. I often wonder how he can be so creative. I'm sure you have learned what come up with means. It's a phrasal verb that means think of. Number 6, he is so that he believes he's better than everyone else. He is so arrogant. Wow, he's really, and then another person says, I'm not surprised he does plenty of exercise. He is really well built. That means he has lots of muscles and is very strong. Number 8, he always experiments with new recipes. He is a very adventurous chef. Here, experiments with doesn't mean that he does experiments in a lab. It means that he tries doing something new, so he keeps on trying new recipes. So we describe someone who tries something new as adventurous. Let's move on to exercise D. Rewrite the following sentences with the given words. We'll check the answers after some time. Let's go through the answers. Number 1, Mrs. Lee is a teacher. She always puts herself in others' shoes. Put herself in others' shoes is an idiom. It means that someone can imagine how someone else feels in a difficult situation. So we can say she is empathetic. That means she can understand others' emotions well. Note that we use the article and instead of a here because e is a vowel. Number 2, Danny is a little boy. He is a social butterfly. A social butterfly means that someone is sociable. Danny is a sociable boy. Number 3, Fred is a businessman. He's a go-getter. Go-getter means that someone who is energetic and is determined to be successful. He does not give up in difficult situations. So, a similar adjective to describe it is determined. Fred is a determined businessman. Number 4, Sharon is a boss. Her employees dislike her because she is too tight-fisted. Tight-fisted means that someone who is stingy. That means she is not willing to spend money on others. Sharon is a stingy boss. Number 5, Derek is a dentist. He's a man of his word. A man of his word means that someone who keeps promise and can be trusted. So an adjective to replace it is trustworthy. Derek is a trustworthy dentist. George is a fisherman. He is a real pain in the neck. A real pain in the neck means annoying. Imagine that you feel painful in your neck. You will feel annoyed. So a pain in the neck is to describe someone who is annoying. Remember, we need to change the article to an. This is the end of today's exercise. I hope you find it useful. I will see you next time. Goodbye.